Hi guys, Obi Dave here.
And I am Ash.
Together, Obi Dave and I am Ash.
And we're having a lazy Saturday. How's the couch sound tonight?
How's the couch?
Yeah, sound tonight. You on that? Because you've been in a bad, awful... I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm too tired.
It's my bed.
So?
It's my bed. Good luck getting me to sleep on the couch.
I will make you sleep on the couch.
I will take that bed apart and give it away. Because it's mine.
It's actually, I couldn't drag him down the stairs. We actually, I was trying to pull him out of bed the one morning just as a laugh, just as a joke. And Dave just went full dead weight and was like, this is to show you how hard it would be to bury or deal with my body. And I was like, what? Why would I try and kill you? And he was just like, just to prove point, you wouldn't be able to deal with me. And I you know what? I tried, didn't I? I had feet against the bed. I had hold of both ankles and I was heaving. I couldn't get him. So if you went full dead weight, I wouldn't be able to get you into the couch.
You'd have to chop me up.
Why?
And it'd be messy and you'd leave forensics and then you'd get caught for it.
I'm a scientist. I'd find a way.
No, you wouldn't. No,
or I could just put into practice what I learned in the hospitals on how to move ergonomically and safely patients from one side of the bed to the other or off the bed.
You're plotting to kill me. You were all right, all of you out there that were saying watch out for her. She's crazy.
Yeah,
she's
an axe murderer, apparently.
Yeah,
even though it's him I bought the axes for and I don't own a single one.
You've actually bought me an axe, two axes and a whole set of knives.
I know, yeah.
So maybe you're trying to get me to do you in. Shank you.
Why are you going for the boob?
I don't know. Right then, it's a Saturday. We're both kind of feeling a bit off, tired, all that sort of stuff. We're just about to go for a big hike, just to get the blood pumping and get ourselves feeling good.
That's the one.
But yeah, before we do, we're going to do a couple of videos. We're going to do Popo Medic.
We like Popo Medic.
We did Popo Medic last night.
Yes.
It was Jessica Lynch, was it?
Yeah, it was really fascinating. And actually, Dave watched a couple of videos afterwards and explained a little bit more into what actually was, sort of cross wires here and a bit of extra information here. And...
I listened to Andy Stump on Rogan. And then it turns out that some people may have tried to politicise the thing, and then she's said other things, and it's mad, but it's what people do.
It is,
especially politicians and stuff.
You also have to justify spending obviously taxpayers' money to go and rescue someone. I get it, and it's also to get people behind the military because although majority of the Americans are very supportive of their obviously servicemen and women, in some countries they're not as supportive.
Yeah, true.
So things like that, I get why the media and the government do certain things like that, but it shouldn't be the case. It should be we need to go and save one of our fellow countrymen who's been serving.
Countrywomen.
Countrywomen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway.
We are human, aren't we? Sorry.
Hugh thems. Hugh Zims and Hugh Zers everywhere and Hugh thems.
Stop.
Right then. They kidnapped the SAS and found out.
I'm guessing found out how awesome the SAS is.
I guess so. Be nice to see some British military action. You ready for it?
I'm up for it.
Yeah, let's do it then. Bit of Popo Medic. They kidnapped the SAS, then found out.
Nice.
Monday, September 19th, 2005. Two British operatives conducting covert surveillance in the hostile city of Basra, Iraq, are taken prisoner of war after being compromised by a group of corrupt Iraqi police following a tense shootout turned car chase. But little did their captors know that the two men were special operators of the British Army's Tier 1 unit, the 22nd SAS, unleashing a hellish response from their pissed off teammates. And after being given explicit orders to stand down, the SAS unit denied their leadership and executed a rogue hostage rescue mission.
Nice. It's so British. Fuck your authority. So British.
When obviously fascinated by the SAS and military in general, but the SAS is such a fascinating thing over here. Yeah. And then we had SAS Who Dares Wins on TV, who a few ex-SAS soldiers, I think SBS as well.
Yeah.
Anthony Ant Middleton, that's the one, isn't it? He was
Ant Middleton.
SBS.
Yeah.
And then obviously I've read a few books and things like that, and it seems like they are, I think they're called like is it the quiet professionals or something like that?
I think it's something like that. That's it.
But in the recruitment process, it's not just go for the absolute yes sir type of guys. It's like a lot of it's people with a bit of a past.
Well, they want someone who's going to think on their feet, like in this situation. They're going to, it can't always be down to the leader. It's you are on your own in some operations, and you've got to make your own decisions. You've got to take responsibility and have the confidence.
They like to recruit guys that have been a bit naughty in their younger days, maybe,
because they know extra stuff. They're street smart. There's a difference between knowing shit and street smarts. There is.
I think there's an element of like decentralized command, isn't there, where like the guys out the boots on the ground make some decisions.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got to do what you're told still.
Of course.
But there's a big, wide scope of things you can do within that.
100%.
This sounds like they've just gone, nah.
Yeah, screw you.
Nah.
2 years following the invasion of Iraq, and 1 year despite the capture of Saddam Hussein, in 2005, Iraq was becoming as hostile as ever, and the small southern city of Basra was no exception. As September 5th of that same year, 2 British soldiers would be killed in Basra by a roadside IED, and only 2 days later, on September 7th, 16 Basran civilians would perish following a car bomb. Given this cluster of violence, US and coalition forces began to zero in on Basra, and quickly learned the city was run by an incompetent and corrupt police chief linked to the Mahdi terror cell, who British SBS and SRR commandos targeted during a critical counterinsurgency campaign. This police chief was a crucial link for the notorious British intelligence agency MI6, who quickly chartered a mission dubbed Operation Hathor, of which they assigned 2 special operators from the Tier 1 unit, the 22nd SAS, the British equivalent of Delta Force. Their objective, to keep eyes and ears on the police chief within the city of Basra. These special operators, Campbell and Griffith, were to dress in native garbs and fully embed themselves within the city. Their mission was to gather intelligence and perform a wreck by tailing the chief and his officers while operating an inconspicuous Iraqi taxicab. And by September 19th, the mission was a go. Campbell and Griffith entered the city of Basra and positively...
So just a quick one, because they said they entered the local populace, in like local garb.
Yeah.
There's a picture in, it might have been in Bravo 20, which is Andy McNabb's book about a mission in Iraq, but I think it was during the Gulf War.
I was going to say,
with the SAS, where they got captured, and it's much disputed. There's rival books about it.
Yeah.
But I think it's from that there was a picture of some of the SAS guys. I want to say they were in... Where in the Middle East is like, oh God, Yemen.
Oh yes.
I think it was in Yemen, and dressed in local garb with beards and stuff. You would have thought 1,000,000% they were locals.
Yeah,
when you see the picture, it's like
no way.
And it wasn't disguises as such. It's just they wore the gear, they grew the beards, and they just looked quite rugged and.
It just assimilated, literally just assimilated. Yeah, it's
like
incredible.
You wouldn't question anything.
No, I know. This is what fascinates me. Like with the whole thing is like MI6. When they've got like spies all around the world and people who you wouldn't ever expect. That's why, like, have you seen Talented Mr. Ripley and things like that?
Not sure.
With Matt Damon.
Not sure.
Interesting. But he's it's not about a spy, but he sort of takes over people's personalities anyway.
Oh, might have actually, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a forger, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how people can just become another person just by little subtle changes. It's like, I know what people say, like, oh, Clark Kent, he just, takes his glasses off and puts his hair back and suddenly he's Superman. But it's like, you'd be amazed. Like, I've changed my hair colour and people just didn't recognise me immediately. Like, it's these little subtle changes sometimes.
A lot of it's about how you act, I think. And if you act like you're meant to be there, people are going to disregard maybe a couple of visual cues that might be a little bit off.
That's it. That's why I call it assimilating rather than,
intelligence and perform a wreck by tailing the chief and his officers while operating an inconspicuous Iraqi taxicab. And by September 19th, the mission was a go. Campbell and Griffith entered the city of Basra and positively ID'd the chief. However, during their tail, the two were forced to merge into an Iraqi checkpoint. The men attempted to skate through, but the officers, recognizing their British accents, quickly became hostile. The officers ordered the operators out of the car, at which point Campbell and Griffith simultaneously opened fire, killing 2 officers at the checkpoint. They hit the gas and made a run for the city, but their gutless taxi cab made evasion nearly impossible. They hopped out on foot and were quickly cornered by an angry mob and taken into custody by police.
Shit.
Basra police sent photographs of Campbell and Griffith to a popular Iraqi news outlet, celebrating their capture. Meanwhile, the bureaucrats back in London were taken by surprise and slow to act. However, in the city of Baghdad, news reached the SAS's Special Forces Support Group in the form of a TV broadcast depicting the men beaten and subdued, and in queue for capital punishment. The SAS team took immediate action. 20 operators of A Squadron hightailed it to Basra and began plotting out a sophisticated rescue mission. SAS operators closer to the region, on the outskirts of Basra, vectored a Predator UAV and began maintaining 24-hour surveillance on the prison. Meanwhile, British infantry and armored units were dispatched to surround the prison, and an irate gathering of locals ensued. The protesters, fueled by anti-coalition sentiments, grew increasingly agitated, and the British government took advantage of the chaos by authorizing the immediate rescue of the operators inside. As the SAS teams from Baghdad arrived in the area of Basra and began their loadout, the protesters' agitations quickly turned to violence. The crowds pelted the British forces with stones and Molotov cocktails, resulting in a Warrior IFV catching on fire and causing injuries to 3 soldiers. And with resistance from both protesters and militants, the streets of Basra quickly turned into a battleground. Fearing further escalations, the British government issued immediate orders for the SAS to stand down and the infantrymen to retreat, leaving Campbell and Griffith stranded and in the hands of the Basra police. And with time running out, the pair fought to keep themselves alive by giving their captors just enough information without compromising any real secrets, a skill set SAS operators obtained as far back as selection. Meanwhile, the British government began to take a more diplomatic approach in their recovery, after sending 2 British officers to the prison to deliver an ultimatum. Their mission took an unexpected turn when they too were captured and held within the confines of the prison. And to make matters worse, simultaneously, the Iraqi police opted to hand over Campbell and Griffiths to the Iraqi militia. They were disguised once again in local garbs and then placed in the trunk of a police car destined for a nearby safe house. Unbeknownst,
it's horrendous, isn't it? Like, I get why we would have been pressured to stepping back because there were civilians involved, and we don't involve civilians. And when there's so many protesters around, how do you keep civilians safe? But at the same time, when you're fighting a war, we shouldn't have backed down. But it's such a difficult decision, isn't it? Because it's just like, well, do we become as bad as them?
I think once you've got Saddam out of the picture, the idea was to install some sort of puppet government and to work with him.
Yeah.
And it's not like they all just went, oh, right, okay, sweet, yeah, we work for you guys now. It'd be like, you know, we and the coalition forces probably tried to put someone in place, and then they got a bit of power and were like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, which I get. But at the same time, can I just ask, I like Popo Medic, but why on earth did he show Theresa May? She wasn't Prime Minister during that time.
No, but she was still a politician.
Yeah, but she wasn't making decisions during that time, was she?
No, but if Tony Blair was in power at the time, he was Labour. Theresa May is a Conservative.
Yeah, but she wasn't head of the party.
No, but that was in the House of Commons.
Yeah.
Where they all stand up and they debate each other.
No, I know, but
so she could have very well been there debating Tony Blair.
I just don't understand the relevance of
Google
showing
that,
her face.
She's a career politician, so
I know.
she would have been there with
but
I
just don't think
Tony Blair.
I don't think she would have had a say in something like that. But anyway,
they say about not involving civilians though, but didn't 1 million Iraqi civilians die during this conflict?
Yeah.
Which I know a lot were killed by
the
insurgents,
their own
IEDs and all that sort of stuff. It's fucking grim, isn't it?
It's realities of war, isn't it?
Yeah, but you don't want to piss off a load of SAS guys. That's literally going to be 2 of their mates that are in the prison.
No, I know people who are serving their Queen and country, but
I think they're serving for each other. I think that's like us.
I just got a tickle.
You're right.
I think so. It wasn't even my juice. It was like, I just got a tickle.
Hay fever today. I think that's what it is.
It's getting bad.
Let's do it.
Placed in the trunk of a police car destined for a nearby safe house. Unbeknownst to the Iraqi authorities, the UAV overhead tracked the relocation, concerned that their fellow operators might face execution at the hands of the Iraqi militia. The SAS, against explicit orders to stand down, defied their command and decided to take matters into their own hands.
Could I just say, the decision to take them out of the prison was ridiculous. You've got the protesters outside, you've got the whole political situation. That's what the British government are trying to avoid. So their protection was the riot outside, was the prison walls, was everything else.
Yeah.
To take them out, you've not got the riot around you. The political situation, you're not going to kill rioters. You've got a militia and you've got your kidnapped guys.
Well, this is why they said, Pope Medic said at the beginning, the guy they weren't smart. They weren't doing this right.
Strategically, that is a dumb decision, isn't it?
Stupid, but they obviously panicked a little bit and they're like, well, how do we get out? And what? Because they've upset the locals as well. The locals have probably said, you've brought the British in. You've caused all this, you know. You don't know. You don't know what the situation was on the ground.
But you lost all of your leverage by taking them out of that area.
But they panicked because they literally captured 2 others. So they're escalating it even further when the British had already moved away and tried to, offer peace tradings. So.
Yeah. The British government authorized conventional forces to conduct a raid on the police station and free the captured officers. The SAS took advantage of this window and conducted a simultaneous raid of their own on the safe house. And by 9 p.m., Warrior IFVs and Challenger tanks breached the prison walls, enabling infantry units and a select few SAS operators from A Squadron to stage a swift rescue of the officers, as the remainder of A Squadron launched their assault on the safe house.
I'm going to try not to pause it again because I keep pausing
you do. You're doing a lot.
I apologise for that. But did you see, how there's those kind of glints of light coming off the tank?
Yeah. I know, yeah, that's...
Mr. Ballin talked about it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Where it's like, because you're viewing him with infrared, they have these little infrared flashes.
Yeah.
And it identifies them as friendlies.
Yeah.
For anyone else. It's
it's really fascinating, isn't it? It's not always the phosphorus from obviously the discharge of the bullet.
Yeah. Well,
is.
That was going in, wasn't it? There was no gunfight. That was just...
No, there was some firing out the front.
Was it?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm sure I saw that, but I saw the flashes on the inside of the vehicle. That was...
It's on the top, because then if it's like a drone or whatever going over, there's the friendlies, there's the bad guys.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just genius. It's like such a simple thing. It's amazing, isn't it?
The team flooded the building through numerous entry points, imposing textbook hostage rescue tactics, disorienting the captors and controlling the violence. As they made their way through the compound, Campbell and Griffiths were nowhere in sight, leading the team to fear that the pair were moved once again. However, a further sweep into the compound revealed Campbell and Griffith handcuffed in a bathroom and still alive. The team provided medical attention and extracted the men from the compound. By all accounts, the mission unfolded seamlessly and without a hitch, including the infantry assault and rescue of the British officers within the Basra prison. Eyewitness reports claimed over 150 prisoners escaped during the assault, many of whom were falsely imprisoned. Calls were made for a thorough investigation into both Griffith and Campbell's capture and the subsequent events which followed. The Ministry of Defense initially attempted to deny that the unauthorized rescue mission ever took place, but later retroactively sanctioned the mission, arguably due to its success. 1 year later, on December 25th of 2006, as part of Operation Sinbad, British troops from the 1st Battalion, the Staffordshire Regiment, raided the Basra police station once again, killing 7 armed Shia militants and freeing 127 prisoners illegally detained and on the path to execution. They then demolished the prison entirely. In the end, the SAS stayed true to and exemplified their motto.
Nice.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more mini docs in the works, and you don't want to miss. For watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
I'm just checking because we keep skipping things at the end.
I know,
mistake,
yeah. Everyone keeps telling us to, but that was incredible. Like I have so much respect for the SAS, and I mean I have a lot of respect for our British services, men and women as well. It's just so incredible. Like I kind of think that although the government was like no, they're saying like just the SAS took it upon themselves, just that group of men. I think what it was the army sort of gave them a heads up and went, hey, this is happening. We know he's one of yours. We would do the same. Why don't you tag along? And then, you know, like I'm not telling you, but I'm telling you type of situation.
I'm not telling you all this intel, but I'm also not telling you. Yeah.
This is it. And then obviously then the seniors were like, one of your men is captured.
Yeah.
Nobody told you, but they're going to be here at this time and this time, this time and this time. Oh, no. Did I reveal sensitive information?
The thing is, the SAS are the ones they send in to do this type of mission. And if you're not going to allow them to do it with their own and go and rescue their own guys...
They're going to go rogue.
I don't know about go rogue, but like...
Well, that's what he calls it, going rogue.
You're going to want to keep them sweet.
Well, this is it. It's like they put their lives and, you know, well-being on the line. Like they literally are putting themselves at risk of being tortured for information. It's just making me think of, like, because we've just been rewatching Game of Thrones, and obviously poor Reek has just obviously been made...
Just lost his sausage. Played hide the sausage with Lord Bolton.
The worst thing is because all the memes that came out when Lord Bolton like wiggles the sausage he's eating next to him.
It's Lord Bolton's bastard.
That's right. So he's a Snow. Sorry, he is a Snow.
Yeah.
But
is Snow just bastard? Is that what
it's just
Snow
bastard.
means?
I think it's the Northern Bastard. I think in the South they call them something else, but he's a Northern Bastard, so it's Snow.
I'm a Northern Bastard.
Because he even signs when he sends to Greyjoy's, obviously the father drives it as Ramsay Snow, Lord Bolton's bastard.
I love stuff like that though. Like, aren't we lucky to have fucking savages like that?
Yeah, rough men who stand ready to inflict violence while we sleep soundly at night.
Isn't the Who Dares Wins like the unofficial motto, but the real one is fail to prepare, prepare to fail?
No, that's a common thing that they say. It's like I think one of the things my ex-husband used to say was piss poor planning leads to piss poor preparation.
I've heard that one before.
So I think that is just part of their sort of standards.
I'm sure I heard a SAS guy say that though.
Well, yeah, because
I think the public image is Who Dares Wins, but behind closed doors it's like...
No, I think that's across all military.
Right.
Because you can't go in expecting to win a war when you've got no planning or preparation, can you? But yeah, my ex-husband used to say piss poor planning leads to piss poor preparation.
No, piss poor preparation leads to piss poor performance.
Or something like that. I can't remember. The one. I can't remember.
I think so anyway. Let us know. But yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. It's good. It feels good doing a bit of Popo Medic again because I know you were enjoying
I love
the bits we've done. And there's loads to do.
Good. I love this kind of stuff.
Right then, cheers for watching guys. We will see you on the next one.
Bye guys.